Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Timmy. I am a 28-year-old engineer living in Toronto, Canada. For today's video, I'll be going through my expenses for the month of January, just trying to give you guys an idea of how much it costs to live alone in the city of Toronto. So I've been tracking my expenses for a few years now, and I think I have a very good grasp of where my money goes every month. For today's video, I've broken down my expenses to 7 different categories, and I'll put timestamps in the description so it's easy for you to jump back and forth. Okay, let's start off with rent, which is my biggest expense. And I think the same goes for most people out there. I live in a 1-bed, 1-bath condo in the North York area, and I've been here for about 15 months now. It's 500 square feet and comes with all utilities included. Also comes with a parking spot and a storage locker. So it's not really the biggest of spaces, but I think what I have so far, I've done my best to make good use of the space I have. I paid $2,400 per month to rent the spot. I know that number might sound high or normal depending on where you're watching from, and I can definitely lower this cost if I decided to move in with a roommate. But right now, I really love having my own space, so I'm willing to pay that extra cost. The next category is food. In January, I spent $265.58 on groceries. This is a typical spend for me per month, and my number usually stays around $250 to $350. I cook most of my meals at home, and I usually meal prep for the entire week on Sundays, and I store it in the fridge or freezer, take it out as the week goes by. Having my meals prepped for the whole week really keeps me on track, so I don't need to start thinking of what I'm gonna buy for lunch when I'm at work. Everything is pre-prepared from the weekend before. Next, we have restaurants. I spent $65.89. The funny thing I realized is that this entire amount actually comes from one place. I had 3 separate trips to Chipotle, and they were all on the same day of the week. They were all on Saturday. So the total I spent on food in January is $335.17. The next category is bills and subscriptions. For my phone bill, I pay $58.75 per month. Internet is $68.80. My home insurance, that's the tenant insurance, is $26, which I think is pretty normal. I pay $22.04 for Spotify. That's for a family plan. iCloud storage comes in at $4.51. I pay $8.99 for Walmart delivery. So this is one of the small luxuries that I think I've been keeping for a very long time because it has been a huge time saver for me. I don't actually remember the last time I went to a grocery store in Toronto. What I just do is I order what I need the night before, and when I wake up, it's waiting for me at my door. I also have a Cineplex membership, which costs $11.29. I usually go to watch a movie once a month, and this membership gives me 1 free ticket every month, which comes in cheaper than if you were to go to the cinema and buy a regular ticket. So that's it for subscriptions for me. I don't have Netflix, I don't have Amazon Prime, I mostly just watch YouTube. If I add all that up, the total for my bills and subscriptions is $199.38. which I think isn't too bad. Let's move on to transportation. The biggest transportation expense I have is on my car insurance. I pay $203.44, which I think is pretty average for someone my age in Toronto. For gas, I paid $39.73. I don't usually spend a lot on gas because most of the places I go to are relatively close. I actually didn't have a car for the first year when I moved to Toronto, but now I'm just used to that convenience of being able to get up and go when I need to do something. And for me, it's definitely worth it. I also spent $41.15 on Uber. This is from my trip back from Calgary. I had to take an Uber back home from the airport. So the total for my transportation comes out to be $284.32. Fitness is one of the areas that I'm willing to spend a lot on. It's so much built into my routine that my day feels so off if I don't end up going to the gym. Right now, I pay $0 for my gym because in December, I was able to lock in on a new member rate at a gym that opened very close to me. This deal runs until July, so I'll have no gym payments until then. But I think when the deal runs out, I'll probably end up paying about $100. I also started Muay Thai about 4 months ago, and I pay $158.20 every month for that. I'm about to start sparring, so I decided to get a pair of shin guards, and that cost me $155.84. Total for health and fitness is $314.04. This category is for expenses related to taking care of my cat's Ratchet. So for things like pet food, for his litter, and sometimes for a pet sitter when I have to travel out of town. In January, I spent $25.91 on his litter, and I spent $24.93 on his food. And that is a total of $50.84. Next, we have shopping. I spent $115.05 on Amazon. I had to get an Ethernet cable for my PS5 just to get a better connection for my portal, and I had to get a memory card for my camera. I spent $22.04 on Lego. I'm sure some of you might have seen it if you watched my previous video. The last item I purchased in January is a copy of Expedition 33, which I bought for $50 on Facebook Marketplace. So this game actually won the 2025 Game of the Year, and I've been seeing it all over my YouTube homepage. So my total for shopping is $187.54. The last category I have here is for miscellaneous items. This category covers purchases that just come up once in a while and are not actually part of my regular monthly expenses. So last month I had to pay $100 deposits for parking access at my gym. This is just for the key fob to get into the underground parking, and I'll get refunded the $100 when I return that. I also got some furniture and new pillows from IKEA, and that cost me $170.48. So the total for my miscellaneous items is $270.48. It's time to reveal the grand total of my expenses last month. For the month of January, I spent a total of $4,041.77. So I'm actually happy seeing this number because I'm currently comparing it to my average for last year, which was $4,200, and seeing that it's below that means that I am having a very good start to the year. And I think this gives me a good baseline. So now I know exactly what I'm working with going into the rest of the year, and I can keep track of how this number changes. Let me know in the comments if this amount is what you expected for someone who lives alone in Toronto. And if you live in Toronto, let me know how much you spend in a month. I'm actually curious to see what everyone else is spending. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. If you found this helpful, please make sure you like this video and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.